So this video is about the concept of declension. Declension is a mode of inflection in Latin that is applied to nouns, adjectives, and pronouns. This video explains the concept of declension, lists the 5 declensions in Latin, and tells you how to find first and second declension nouns in a Latin dictionary. So think of a declension as the way that certain nouns and adjectives like to behave. There's a rough analogy in English to this, though English doesn't have as declensions per se, but you can recognize that the plural of dog is dogs. When we make dog plural, we like to add simply an S. This is a very common way that we make things plural in English. But when we get the word lady, we don't like to just add an S to lady. We like to drop the Y and add IES. We would not try to render the plural of lady as ladies simply by adding an S, as we did with dogs, because that would look funny. It's not right. And why isn't it right? Well, that's just English. That's just the way we do things. Dog goes to the plural by adding S. Lady goes to the plural by adding by dropping Y and adding IES. The same with ox. The plural of ox is oxen. The plural of moose is simply moose. We wouldn't try to make moose plural by adding an N. Why don't we do that? In part because these are loan words. Moose is Algonquin. Ox, I think, is Old English. So these are two different kinds of words. They come from two different kinds of languages. We've borrowed them and we maintain their character. But the point is that we don't try and change the nature of a word when we take it from singular to plural. So the same thing goes for Latin nouns and adjectives, which like to decline in 5 distinct ways. These are the singular endings for all 5 declensions in Latin. So what does that mean? Well, it means these are the 5 ways that nouns and adjectives like to end in Latin. All first declension nouns will end the way you see in the purple column. All second declension nouns will end as you see in the blue column. They never decide to be different from that. They always stay that way. So another way to say that is that nouns don't change declension. Just like some nouns in English like their plural ending to end simply to be the letter S. So there are lots of words, so like dog and dogs. There are lots of words in Latin like puella, nauta, victoria, and terra that like to end in simply an A sound. And when they form their genitive singular, for example, they always add just an E. Puellae, naute, victoriae, and terrae. So just like lady drops its Y and adds IES, so there are masculine second declension nouns like amicus, servus, filius, and numerus that like to end their nominative in us, and when they go to the genitive singular, they like to change it to an E sound. So amici, servi, filii, and numeri. So these are the ways that nouns and adjectives like to end, and like our nouns, they always like to end that way. So, for example, going back to our other example, would we ever say ladies, L-A-D-Y-S? No, we would never do that. In the same way, Latin would never take the word puella, which is a first declension noun, and try to say puellus. That is not a word in Latin. But wait, you'll say, I know that there's a word like dominus, and there's also a word like domina. Aren't they changing those words? Isn't that just the same word with 2 different endings? No, it's not. Dominus is a second declension masculine noun, and domina is a first declension noun. There are two different words, much like actor and actress in English are two different words. They have the same base and the same stem, but they're two different words because they have two different stems. So, now I'm going to tell you how you can find first declension nouns and second declension nouns in the dictionary. We're going to keep it simple for now. We're only going to learn the nominative and singular, nominative and genitive singular cases of the first and second declensions, and we're not even going to talk about what they mean yet. We're doing this because knowing the nominative and genitive singular will help you to do two very basic things. Find out all the information you need to know about a noun from a dictionary entry, and find out how to decline the rest of the noun. So here's what the noun puella looks like in the Latin dictionary. You'll see the nominative singular form of the noun always, no matter what declension it is. Then you'll see a comma, and then you'll see the whole form of the genitive singular, or you'll just see the genitive singular ending. In this case, you would just see a line, a little dash, and then A-E. So, without exception, the combination of the nominative singular ending in a, or that A letter, and a genitive singular ending in A will tell you that you're looking at a first declension noun in the dictionary. The gender of the noun may be easy to guess at times, and in this case, we would expect it to be feminine, because almost all first declension nouns are feminine. But sometimes, like with the third declension, there will be almost no clues as to which gender the noun is. That's why a good lexicon will list the gender of the noun, even if it seems obvious. So, you'll often see just the abbreviation F for feminine, M for masculine, N for neuter. So, why do lexicons or dictionaries list these two forms? Well, it's because this is the least amount of information you need to decline every other form of the noun. If you know the genitive and especially the feminine if you know the nominative and especially the genitive forms, you're guaranteed to know which declension it is and what the rest of the forms are. That's in part because the way you find the true stem of a noun, the part that you attach the endings to, is by dropping the ending of the genitive singular form. The genitive singular form by the way, puella means girl. Obviously, what you're looking for in the dictionary is the meaning. So that's the final component that you'll see in the dictionary entry. So there's two parts to the genitive singular of puella. The first is puel, which is the stem, and then A, which is the ending. So if you drop the genitive singular ending, you will find the stem, the true stem of a noun. So the genitive singular of a noun is the Rosetta Stone. It's the key to understanding what declension the noun is and how the rest of the nouns decline. But wait a minute, wouldn't you get the same result if you took the ending off the nominative? Good point. In this case, yes, you would, because all nouns of the first declension happen to behave this way. Not so with other declensions. For example, the third declension noun, vox, has a genitive singular vocis, and vocis is spelled V-O-C-I-S, not V-O-X-I-S or something like that. So if I take the genitive singular ending off that third declension noun, I get V-O-C, and that's the true stem of vox. You can't tell that from the nominative singular because the nominative singular has changed. So this is why the genitive singular is always listed with the nominative singular in a dictionary entry. So this is what a first declension noun looks like in the dictionary. Always ends in a, has a genitive singular in A, and then usually has feminine gender, but sometimes masculine. Second declension nouns in the dictionary are also very straightforward. You will see for a masculine noun of the second declension, you'll see an ending in us, a short u, and then an s. That is the nominative singular of a masculine second declension noun. Then you'll see amici. So amici is the genitive singular form of amicus. So this combination of a nominative singular in us and a genitive singular ending in e is the hallmark of the second declension masculine. In this case, it will always be masculine. Okay, so the masculines and the neuters share a declension together. They share the second declension. There are no feminine nouns in the second declension. There are only masculine and neuter nouns, and they always look like this. Masculine will always end its nominative in s, and the neuter will always end in m. So this is the gender. A good dictionary will still always list the gender. And then, of course, the definition of amicus is friend. And then the neuter second declension noun will be given as ending in that will be the nominative singular, and then it shares a genitive singular with the masculine nouns of the second declension in e, so donum, doni, and it will list it as n for neuter, and the meaning is gift. So your assignment today will be to practice finding first and second declension nouns in the dictionary, being able to recognize all the information that you're being given, and very simple exercise, shouldn't cause you too much trouble. And so this has given you all the information you need to do that.